Patriots doing something which, was like way out of left field a month or so ago when they actually scored first. They've done it since then. They did it again yesterday.
Maye takes the snap, looks, fires middle of the end zone, caught, Kendrick Bourne, touchdown, Patriots!
Look who's back, baby! KB on a little dig to the right side, and man, is he energized. He had to sit last week, active this week, and it is a back foot plant freaking dart that Drake Maye sticks right in between the numbers.
Great to see Kendrick Bourne out there catching that first touchdown pass of the game. After the game, he spoke about it.
Appreciate the coaches, keep believing in me. It was a tough situation, but that just says a lot, about how they're approaching it. They're doing their job. So shout out to the coaches. That's what they got to do. They got to make tough decisions. It's not easy running a team. So, I'm just a player on a team. So I couldn't imagine what they talk about, what they go through up there. And so I'm just thankful that they, still believe in me.
He's going to be here a while. He's not going anywhere. With an attitude like that, how many guys get benched for a week, come back, catch a touchdown pass, give all the credit to the coaches? They got a real tough job. There aren't many players that do that.
You know what?
They got to love him for this.
Or you could not be benched. That's an odd take by you. No. I would assume. What about all the players that didn't get benched? Everyone else on the team.
Well, I would think if you've got a bunch of. He might be a decent 2 or 3 someday. We'll keep him around. Which guy are you going to keep around? The guy with that attitude or any of the other multitude of players that you have that are on the bubble? It's like
you realize that he's responding to being benched for his attitude.
Yeah, but not every player would respond that way. We've seen it every week. We see it every week. Guys who just double down on their misery.
I've always shown what I can do. I'm glad, that kind of stuff.
I appreciate the way he took it, but I don't think it's this great character. Like he's going to be around for a while. Well, no, they benched him for his attitude last week.
No,
they had just got done benching him.
Not for his attitude.
Yes,
for his poor play.
And his he wasn't. KJ Osborne wasn't playing better than Bourne. Bourne was benched for his attitude. Absolutely, he was. Absolutely.
We'll ask Reese about that later. See if he has anything on it. Because I didn't.
If we ever get past his Bret Michaels concert experience.
Oh. Anyway,
I was telling you, it had to have been his attitude.
I don't remember it being. I'm with Hardy. So. I don't remember it being his attitude.
I think it was. I absolutely do. Allow me to investigate the computer.
Go right ahead.
All right.
Prove both of us wrong.
You look into that.
And then dance on our graves when you're right.
While we listen to Matthew Stafford hooking up with Cooper Kupp for the first of what seemed like about 1 billion times between him and Puka Nacua.
Design roll to the right. Flips into the end zone. Caught at the goal line. And Kupp is in for a touchdown L.A.
You got talkie on him. That's shooting fish in a barrel. That's what my old college coach used to say. Easy pickings here. Cooper Kupp on the inside slot, covered by Tavai. No chance.
No.
Okay.
That's not very interesting coverage choices.
DeMarcus Covington, fresh off a 9-sack effort by his defense in Chicago, chose to put Christian Gonzalez on the number 3 wide receiver for most of the day.
That's fairly common in the NFL. It's funny, I don't know why they do that. They don't move them on one receiver. They just keep them on the side of the field.
And seeing that, Sean McVay being the good head coach that he is, you know what? Let's line up our 2 guys on the opposite side of the field.
Yeah, let's just see where
sure that Christian Gonzalez doesn't cover either of them.
Yeah, let's just see where Gonzalez is and then line up our 2 best receivers on the other side.
Are they allowed to move in the middle of the game? Are they allowed to switch sides?
Apparently not.
Okay.
Not until the last. Gonzalez finally was covering one of those 2 guys the last half of the last quarter, but before that, he didn't touch Nacua, he didn't touch Cooper Kupp, and you have what you have.
Who'd you mention, Nacua?
Stafford under center, play fake, hops in the pocket, throws it right, Nakua's open, dives, makes the catch along the sideline, touchdown LA.
It's such a phenomenal route by him. He's hurt. Nakua's hurt. He comes back inside and reroutes Jonathan Jones. He cuts inside, gets him deep into the middle of the end zone, then breaks it out to give Stafford the room to throw it. Great throw, even a better catch.
I mean,
Jonathan Jones got picked on a lot.
You think you might be close, right? You get a win over a bad Bears team, but you see flashes of stuff, and we saw flashes from Drake Maye yesterday, and then you watch what real receivers can do. Mm-hmm. Hooking up with their quarterbacks who they have chemistry with, and you're like, oh, well, not there yet. Quite a ways off still.
Better though. I mean, look, Drake Maye was not running away from pressure yesterday. He stood in the pocket and delivered a lot.
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
Yeah. He took punishment. Yeah.
But every single week you see something different from him. I mean, he ran for almost 100 yards one week. He's constantly running away from pressure. Yesterday was different. Yesterday the Rams blitzed him, and instead of running away from it, he stood in there, took the hit, and delivered balls that receivers were there for.
Okay,
I thought he was great.
By the way, don't wish away being able to run. Don't wish away being able to run. If you don't think that matters, watch the end of the Seahawks game and the end of the Bills game. If you don't think having a quarterback that can move, and then do yourself a favor and watch the Jets.
Yes. No, I get that, but I'm saying it's another dimension that he has.
No. That was a non kind of a half sequitur I was doing.
Okay.
Is that no? It's good. You want to you don't want to get too happy feet.
But the thing is, you see this kid. He's multidimensional. He's not one or another.
Well, McVay said after the game he's a stud. I mean, this is the best case scenario for Patriots fans. I don't understand. I don't know if you understand how fortunate you are. This is everything that you wanted to happen. The hard work's over. You've gotten your quarterback. Everything else is a cakewalk. I don't care if no other pick hits. I don't care if the rest of that draft sucked. Because I got news for you. If you missed on the quarterback and hit every other pick in that draft, your team's going to blow.
Right. You say, I don't care if every other pick in that draft sucked, and my mind immediately flashed to Jalen Polk, who I don't think was targeted yesterday and had a key false start penalty on fourth and short.
Taking forever. Clock running. Go.
The Patriots with the play clock now at 8 and 7 and 6.
3 minutes.
Baker has to hurry to the right to get lined up. Booty left. May with 2 seconds and 1, and the Patriots with early movement left. The last minute, just a terrible sequence offensively.
Offense number 1, 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
Number one's got to get his head in the game.
Yeah. They didn't throw to him. You can understand the mind wandering off a little bit.
Yeah.
Wasn't really involved yesterday.
No, and he's got to chop it all off. It's good that he has that attitude problem. But the thing is, who would have known the second receiver at Washington?
Oh, my God.
Would have not been the world's greatest pro.
Yeah, were you confusing Polk with Bourne? Because Polk.
No. Van Pelt was they said performance related, but it was unclear. And then Van Pelt was on the Bourne thing, was insinuating that he might not play again this season. If you recall, he said when they announced his benching, they said, we think we have our receiver room targeted and who we want. I just was looking at it.
Was that because they want to play the young guys, or is that specifically because they didn't like Bourne?
Why would you play KJ Osborne? So, like, you know what I'm saying? They played KJ Osborne above Bourne. They played veterans. We'll ask Reese, but I don't know what he's going to say. I got to imagine that that something happened other than just performance, because Bourne is far and away a better receiver than KJ Osborne, and KJ Osborne has done nothing this year. So I have to imagine something was going on. That's all.
All right.
It's my 2 cents.
You want to have some fun?
No.
Eligible? No, you don't.
This is game day Monday.
A little eligible receiver action.
May play fake, drops in the pocket, pressure, lobs it wide open, touchdown, Patriots Lowe.
What a call!
The big man with a score for New England.
There's nothing prettier than a fat guy touchdown. Now the problem is you're so open. Oh my God, is it going to just hit the palms and fall down? Because you're not used to catching the ball.
No, but
Wow.
he did, and he cradled that thing like he was in an egg toss. It was beautiful.
I hope he doesn't get canceled for that statement, Scott.
Oh, nothing prettier than a fat guy touchdown.
The F word.
No, well,
Got to be careful.
but
A lot of groups out there that are listening.
Oh my God! Hope he doesn't go to Disney. Or there are going to be a lot of meetings that suddenly stop.
That's the last thing our boss needs is more phone calls.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
I told you.
These chairs. What you don't know is the chairs are too small. It's a big chair. It's not these ladies' fault. It's the chairs. I knew right away. My uncle works for Lazy Boy.
He was over at Jordan Marsh for a while.
No one knows what we're talking about.
You're welcome.
Vidarian Lowe after the game.
I knew what you were doing.
Having a lot of fun talking about
It's
that.
Baba Booey, I know.
That's fine. That's fine. We all enjoy it.
No, first of all, I've never caught a touchdown ever in any level of football that I've ever played at. But it's always been a dream of mine. Since I was a little kid, I always thought, I could play tight end, growing up. And I always thought I had, fairly great hands. But no, I've been waiting for, a moment like this. I'm just glad, when the play got called, everybody executed and we were scored a touchdown.
There you go.
I was fortunate enough to hit one home run in high school and score one touchdown in high school. The touchdown I scored, the guy fell down that was covering me. And I caught the ball and I looked around and I ran. It's on tape. It's on Betamax tape.
Really? Bird has his touchdown in Everett, and you have that on tape. You have not something you can watch because it's on.
No, it's been moved to DVD. But okay. I tell you, I've been here since 2006. I don't know why I haven't brought it in like Bird did his second day here. But I'll tell you this: there is no feeling like the touchdown. That is the best feeling that I have felt in sports. The home run was kind of just a ball that took off in the wind, and I was like, oh, and I couldn't believe it still went.
It's almost like a golf shot that goes a lot better than you're expecting. It's
that's
kind
exactly
of
what happened.
But Fred, I had a similar experience. Auburn Hills Boys and Girls Club, 7th grade flag football. Picked off a pitchback. I was an edge rusher. I was a defensive specialist.
Yeah, where they put the best players. Yes,
exactly. And picked that thing off and ran it back. And to this day, I can still remember with the fall sun behind me, and I could see my shadow. And I was watching my shadow to see if any of the previously on offensive players were coming close to me as I ran that thing back for a touchdown. You know what, Wallach? Nobody was close to me. I outran them all.
I'm surprised you didn't look at the big screen when you were running. That you didn't just look up.
They didn't have that yet. As a matter of fact, at the time, it was the Auburn Heights Boys and Girls Club. They had not yet transitioned to Auburn Hills because they weren't trying to build the palace yet.
Yeah, that's right. They weren't getting that tax money from the palace just yet.
Right. Let's hear from Drake Maye after his performance yesterday. 30 of 40, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. What did he throw for, Wallach? 282?
Yeah.
Handful yards.
Yeah.
282, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
So, again, offensively, got a few things going yesterday. They actually moved the ball. They scored some points.
More first downs, had the football for 37 minutes yesterday.
Yeah, they obviously didn't score enough, but all right, they're scoring some points. They were moving the ball yesterday, which is something that you kind of look at from week to week, and it's, some plays here and there, but they're really moving the ball. Yeah, they were moving the ball yesterday. He says they didn't do enough on their end.
Yeah, just can't hurt our defense, on the fumble, third down, gotta get the ball out. Can't take a sack there. Same thing I talked about in previous press conferences, punt. The end of the drive of the kick. Coach Mayo preaches that, end every drive of the kick. And then I thought we did some good things, but at the end of the day, it wasn't good enough.
I need a Red Bull after the game. Boy, he's a real motor mouth there. How about your guy, Kendrick Bourne, Fred, who you say has, would you say bad energy? Bad attitude. Is that what you were?
I can't imagine that they benched a veteran receiver based on performance.
I can't
when
imagine
he's the most talented receiver that they have.
I can't imagine either after hearing what Drake Maye had to say about him.
Yeah, I think his attitude's always the same. KB's got great energy, and that's the one thing about him. He's gonna come in day in day out with a smile on his face, and I think just a testament to him for not getting probably what he wanted last week and coming out here and making some big plays for us.
Interesting.
Well, he uses the word attitude. Are you putting that in my column or out of my column?
I'm putting that out
Are
of
you
your
writing
column.
a column now?
No,
you should write a column for 98.5thesportshub.com.
Lovely idea.
No, thank you. That would just be placating the man. That he mentions his attitude.
Yeah, he says he always had a great attitude, and regardless.
Yeah, but you don't he didn't go. Hunter Henry has a great attitude.
He was probably asked directly about Kendrick Bourne.
His attitude. Okay, whatever. We're going. I thought that was interesting. You took it another way. Very good. I look at. What do I know? I'm not in there, nor do I care to be. So maybe you're correct. It seems like a very odd thing to do, to bench physically your best receiver, and play guys his age that are worse, just because he's not good enough. That doesn't make any sense, but
want to give Jalen Polk all the reps possible.
But you're not. But you played veteran receivers. It wasn't like you put out 3 rookies. By the way, they cut Tyquan Thornton this weekend.
That's right.
who was taken above Pickens, the receiver in Pittsburgh. And Pickens, though, was a little under the radar, having played at Alabama.
Georgia.
Or Georgia, rather. Georgia, sorry.
Yeah, you don't get a chance to see those SEC guys as much, so you can't blame them.
Right. And it wasn't like right after they took Tyquan Thornton, there wasn't this huge run on receivers.
That's right. Tyquan Thornton was really fast.
Yeah, really
Boy,
fast.
was he fast.
And I like Tyquan Thornton.
Built like a pencil.
His legs were as thin as mine. He's the only football player I've ever seen in my life with legs as thin as mine.
Thornton was the best. Thornton, if you remember, during camp said, you know what? This last offseason, I chose to work out. I chose to bulk up a little bit. Because, see, I've been thin my entire life, and for the first 2 or 3 years of my pro career. So after taking a lot of punishment and getting hurt a lot and generally not being very good, I've this year decided to work out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I just wonder how he got off the line in college. Like how things are that much different.
The teams they played weren't very good.
Well,
Guys that were covering him weren't very good.
There was a bit of a narrative out there after the game and during the game, too, based on some of the decisions that Gerard Mayo made that the team was not being coached to win. Ben Volen had a column about it. He brings up the point at midway through the third quarter. Rams got the Patriots in a 4th and 2 situation. Instead of going for it, they kicked the field goal to make it 21-13. Volen brings up some other points that I take issue with. But before that was even written, Gerard Mayo was asked if he was, in fact, coaching to win the game.
With the 4th and 2, which the fans clearly were not happy with, do you think you're coaching to win, or do you think you're coaching to win?
I'm always coaching to win. And look, every decision that I make won't always be the popular one, and that's part of this job.
Okay. They cut it to a 1-score game. I don't understand why you go for 4th and 2.
So it would have been 21-17 as opposed to 21-13. All right, still technically with a 2-point conversion, a 1-score game. I didn't
have any trouble with
I was okay with that. Here's another one.
How is that not coaching to win, though? Like, a 4th and 2, then why don't you go for it why don't you go for 2 every touchdown from the 2-yard line? If it's so easy to pick up 2 yards in that end of the field, why don't you just go for 2 all the time? And by the way, teams are only hitting like something like high 38% of 2-point conversions.
I saw that number yesterday, too.
Yeah, 38. So like what? So that means so you're in the red zone. People hit 38% of second down of 2-point conversions. Let's give you a little bit more for the more room. You have a 40% chance of hitting that. If you don't hit it, you can't win the game. I read the Volen article too, and I thought it was really nitpicky. And in a lot of those decisions, I would have kicked the field goal there. I certainly would have. There's no guarantee against that defensive line. You can't run it. What, are you going to run it up the middle for 2 yards?
Okay, so they had a chance to go up 10-0 to it. Would have been a 55-yard field goal.
I would have done
in the second quarter. And he said Sly had missed a few kicks going that way in the stadium during warm-ups.
Yes,
then cut him. If he can't make a 55-yard field goal, then cut him.
Yeah, Sly missed. I think he hit it off the upright from 48, according to the writers that were watching.
Then that's not good.
Yeah.
Then cut the kid. You got to be able to make a 55-yard field goal on a nice day.
It was a little windy. News for you. They had a little wind out there yesterday.
Yeah, it was real.
A little blustery.
A little blustery, a little gusty.
Yeah. Not quite sure.
Lions and if the Lions are in the NFC Championship game on the road for whatever reason, and jabroni hero kicker from the UFL,
Jake Bates,
misses a field goal on a 70-degree sunny day, and they go, "Oh, there was a slight gust of wind." You're not going to like that very much.
First of all, it was 60, and second of all, how funny is it that we're sitting here talking about? And I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think it's funny how things have changed in the NFL. If you can't make a 55-yarder, then get the hell out of here.
That's true.
20 years ago, 55 yards, we would have led with that.
Kid from the Jets, they made a mistake, and their kicker went to Kansas City last week.
Spencer Schrader kicked for Kansas City.
He went to Kansas City last week. He left the team. He left their practice squad to go to Kansas City, so they didn't have a kicker. So they had to put some kid kicker on the team, and he made a 58-yarder yesterday.
It's insanity.
You got to make a 55. you don't have to make it.
No,
right?
but
that has to be an option. Like you have to think I have a pretty good chance of making this 55-yarder, and you are correct. For almost my entire life, 62 was the record,
and what was
63
what was considered a long field goal? I would say anything over 40.
I'd say anything over 45, but whatever. It's certainly, it's like everything else, dude. It's like kids dunking. It's like everything else. It's how hard people throw. It's just things get crazy. But I'm serious. If your kicker's struggling that much in pregame to limit you to not try field goals on a nice day, I could understand if it was a storm. Then Sly shouldn't be your kicker. And I'm not. I am on the side of the Mayo made good decisions, so I'm not being negative against the Patriots. I'm just like, well, that shouldn't be your kicker.
Maybe it has something to do with the special teams. I mean, they did have an extra point blocked yesterday.
Yeah, well, that can be on the kicker too.
How many field goals did Jets kick yesterday?
The kid made the 58-yarder. I don't remember. Not enough. All right, he didn't miss anything.
If you like that clip, and how could you not? Check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. Point slightly up and to the left. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. Point slightly down and to the left. And for the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 985thesportshub.com.